The world's #1 player just said something that should make every golf fan stop and pay attention. Scottie Scheffler isn't complaining about a bad round or a tough draw. He's calling out the system, the rules, the decisions, the way the PGA Tour is being run. And coming from the best player on the planet, that's not just noise. That's a signal. And here's what makes this story bigger than just one player venting. Scheffler isn't alone. The frustration building inside the ropes right now is real, it's loud, and it's pointing directly at a rule that has quietly been reshaping tournaments, results, and fairness in professional golf. You already know what preferred lies means, but what you might not know is the specific way this rule has been applied. And more importantly, when it hasn't been, that turns Scheffler from the tour's biggest ambassador into its most credible critic. I think Scheffler is 100% right to speak up, and I think most of you feel the same. Drop a comment. Do you agree the tour is mishandling this? Or is he overreacting? And if you want honest PGA Tour breakdowns every week, subscribe. We don't sugarcoat anything here. The rule, the double standard, and exactly what Scheffler exposed. Because once you see the full picture, you'll understand why this goes way deeper than wet fairways. Now, preferred lies sound simple on paper. Wet conditions, muddy ball, pick it up, clean it, place it nearby. Fair enough, right? But here's where it gets complicated. The PGA Tour applied preferred lies at the Valero Texas Open, then again at the Zurich Classic, then at the Cadillac Championship at Doral. 4 times this season alone, the Tour stepped in and said, conditions are too unfair, let's protect the players. So when the PGA Championship arrived at Quail Hollow, and the fairways were just as wet, just as soft, just as unpredictable, players expected the same protection. Scheffler and Schauffele both hit perfect drives on the par 4 16th. Perfect. And both walked away with double bogeys because mud dragged their shots completely offline. Scheffler didn't stay quiet. He said straight out, hitting the ball in the middle of the fairway, you should not get punished for that. He said it cost him possibly 2 shots on 1 hole. Schauffele called the decision kind of stupid. The PGA of America said nothing changed. Same conditions, different tournament, completely opposite decision. That contradiction sitting right there, that's not the full story. Because while everyone was arguing about mud on a golf ball, the tour quietly made another decision that Scheffler says could permanently damage the game itself. Earlier this year, the USGA and R&A confirmed the golf ball rollback. Starting 2028, every professional golfer plays a shorter ball. The reduction targets elite male professionals specifically, somewhere between 9 and 15 yards off the tee under maximum swing speed. The logic behind it makes sense on paper. Modern players are bombing it past 350 yards. Iconic courses built over decades can't defend against that distance anymore. So the governing bodies decided to bring the ball back. Scheffler's response this week at the Memorial was direct. He said when you move the ball back only 8 yards, it doesn't affect every player equally. Some players feel almost nothing. Others lose 15 to 20 yards. That kind of gap between players at the same event, competing under different effective conditions, creates problems inside the game. He's right. A player whose swing generates less speed loses far less under this change. A player who relies on elite distance loses significantly more. The playing field doesn't flatten, it tilts. And Jack Nicklaus, a man who has seen every era of professional golf, looked at this decision and called throwing a deck chair off the Titanic. Not a fix, a gesture toward a problem that runs much deeper. 2 rules, both questioned by the most credible voice in the game. But here's the part that connects all of it, and this is where the real crisis becomes impossible to ignore. The preferred lie's inconsistency and the ball rollback aren't 2 separate complaints. They're symptoms of the same problem. A tour making decisions that feel reactive, inconsistent, and increasingly disconnected from the players actually competing week to week. But to understand why that matters so much right now, you have to look at what else is changing inside the PGA Tour structure. Because Scheffler's frustration didn't appear out of nowhere. It grew inside a system that has been quietly reshaping itself, and not in a way that benefits everyone equally. PGA Tour CEO Brian Rolapp confirmed ahead of the 2026 Players' Championship that a 2-tier system is coming. The Tiger Woods-chaired Future Competitions Committee proposed a structure that separates players into Track 1 and Track 2. elite events worth $20 million or more, bigger fields, cuts brought back, and players inside the top tier strongly discouraged or potentially blocked from entering lower tier events. On the surface, it sounds like a cleaner product, better fields at bigger events, more competitive pressure everywhere. The reality is different. A player outside the top tier doesn't compete for the same money, the same visibility, or the same career opportunities as a player inside it. The gap between them doesn't shrink under this structure. It hardens. That alone would have been enough to shake the tour's foundation. What happened next made it worse. LIV Golf is collapsing. The PIF, Saudi Arabia's public investment fund, informed LIV that funding ends at the close of the 2026 season. $5 billion invested, a rival league launched, and now it's over. For anyone who wanted LIV gone, this looks like a win. But look closer, and the damage it caused is already permanent. LIV forced the PGA Tour to dramatically increase prize money at the top to keep its biggest names. That money didn't flow equally. Stars got richer. Mid-level and lower-ranked players were left further behind. The inequality that LIV exploited is now baked into the tour's structure going forward. So you have a two-tier system formalizing that inequality. You have a ball rollback that disproportionately affects certain players. You have a preferred lies rule applied inconsistently depending on which organization is running the event. And sitting in the middle of all of it is Scottie Scheffler, the world's #1, the face of the tour, the man the PGA Tour needs more than any other right now, publicly questioning whether any of this is being handled fairly. This is the moment the title promised you, and here it is. Scheffler isn't just exposing a rule, he's exposing a pattern. Decisions that look reasonable in isolation, but when you line them up, the preferred lies double standard at the majors, the ball rollback that punishes distance players unevenly, the two-tier structure that locks inequality in place. They tell a consistent story, a governing body making choices that protect the product, protect the brand, and protect the biggest commercial interests while telling players to trust the process. The dirty rule isn't just preferred lies. It's the entire framework of selective, inconsistent governance that applies protection when it's convenient and removes it when it isn't. And the reason this matters beyond one season or one controversy is simple. When the best player in the world, someone with nothing to gain and everything to lose by speaking out, starts saying the system isn't fair, that's not a complaint, that's a warning. Scheffler earned everything he has inside this system. He's not bitter, he's not losing, he's winning everything, which is exactly why his criticism lands so hard. He has no personal motive to attack the tour. He's speaking because he genuinely believes something is wrong. The PGA Tour is at a crossroads right now. It can take that criticism seriously, look at the inconsistencies Scheffler is pointing to, and make changes that actually protect the integrity of competition. Or it can keep moving forward with a structure built around money and brand value, hoping its biggest stars stay quiet. Based on what happened this week, staying quiet isn't something Scheffler is willing to do anymore. Do you think the PGA Tour is making the right calls, or is Scheffler right that the system is broken? Drop your take in the comments below. These conversations are exactly why this channel exists, and if you want honest breakdowns every single week, subscribe and stay with us. More is coming.